Now, in politics, Yog, there are necessarily going to be political appointments. There is no doubt about that. That is real politics. That is the reality, and that is pragmatic politics. There is no political party in the world that can proclaim that it does not make political appointments. It makes those political appointments and pays them a reasonable remuneration package. And it is expected that when the tenure of that political party in government comes to an end, those political appointments automatically are terminated. That is the understanding. It may not be written anywhere, but that is the practice in real politics. You have political appointments, the appointees enjoy a fair comparative remuneration package. They are expected to function in political capacities, do political work / government or public work, and they go when their party goes out of government. It's as simple as that. Sinecure appointments are illegal, and appointments, political appointments where the political appointees receive numerous remuneration packages under various agencies and may not even doing an iota of work. Obviously, that is an abuse of public funds. That is that is corruption. That is nepotism. That is bad governance. And what we are discovering in government is the entire governmental architecture is replete with examples and manifestations of this. And I can call names. Carol Joseph, for example, a known political activist, member of the PNC, candidate on the list, devoid of any technical qualification, as far as I am aware, holds about 3 positions in various ministries: Ministry of Communities, Ministry of Natural Resources, where I believe she's a petroleum advisor, and some other appointments in the region. Then I believe, I'm told that she is also employed or used to be employed with the Hugo Chavez Institute in Region 5. Ganesh Mahipal, his name is all over the place on the different payrolls of the different ministries. Now, how can that ever be acceptable? And then you have a whole list of people who are not even working in the ministries, but they are being paid out of the treasury, and their names are on the payrolls of these ministries. At some point in time, I've asked already, and at some point in time it will be done. We will have to audit the wage bill in the public sector, and you will see the gloat. You will see the gloat. Every sector preponderates with an overload of employees who are unqualified, who are not needed in the system, and they are given contracts to the disadvantage of the people in the permanent establishment. Now, at the Attorney General Chambers, for example, you have lawyers who work 245,000. They take home salary, their net salary is about 190,000, thereabouts. Scattered all across the public sector are lawyers. I don't know what they're doing, but they work over 500,000, 600,000, 700,000, $1 million, $1.2 million a month on contract with a gratuity of 22.5% every 6 months. They get duty-free concessions and they get a host of allowances. How is that fair to the poor lawyer in the Attorney General office who has to represent the state of Guyana, the government of Guyana? These lawyers that are scattered all about the place, they work for a sector or an agency, or worse yet, a single person. You have, I looked at the contract of this person, Tamara Khan, a year-to-year contract, fixed term, no termination clause. The contract sum is nearly $8 million for 1 year to do work to be assigned in the office of the Prime Minister. And no work there's no evidence of any work done. And must get a monthly allowance of a minimum of $650,000 a month. So you have a fixed term lump sum contract, no exit clause, and payment must be made on the face of it on a quantum meruit basis, but no work is produced. But still there is a safety valve that says you must pay minimum $650 per month.
Wow.
Now that contract comes to an end in November. So that person would have received nearly $7 million. And there is absolutely no evidence to show what that person has done. And that person's husband is working in the same office, Imran Khan, as some advisor to the Prime Minister. And this is a guy who used to lecture this country night and day about the morality of politics, about accountable government and transparent government. These people are a shameless bunch of people. I don't mind you are a politician and you do politics. I don't mind that. But you can't have these skeletons in your closet. These kinds of skeletons, the magnitude of what I'm speaking about, and you're lecturing the country as though you are the Pope. I don't know if these guys thought that these things will never come to light. And there's so much more that will come to light in the next few weeks and months that are not made public right across the sector. And I reflect now at some of the things that these guys were doing and saying, educated people, lawyers, and I wanted to know if these people were insane. Why were they doing these things? Why were they saying these things? Now that I am seeing, I now realize why. And the public will understand why in due course. Not long from now.
So, A.T., did you, let's get to two questions for you. One is that in terms of political appointees, under your former office as AG yourself, the PPP would have had its own political appointees then. And I think there were some stark instances where persons were just moved from, accommodated in certain jobs. What would be your comment to the political appointees during the PPP's former administration as compared to now? And two, what about the AG chambers? Were there any persons there that you find that you had to deal with?
Firstly, I think the first part of your question you addressed to political appointments in the AG chambers during my time?
No.
Is that the focus, or generally PPP government?
Yeah.
As I said, every political party will make political appointments. In my view, there is nothing wrong with that. That is the nature of real politics. So you had in the office of the president, for example, persons of the stature of Gail Teixeira, advisor to the government or advisor to the president on governance, political appointment. You had Odinga Lumumba, you had many persons. When we lost the elections, we went away. You pack up, you do your handing over, and you part company. Do you recall any PPP person whose appointment could have been described as a political appointment, who stayed on beyond the change of government, so that an issue arose. You can't recall any.
Yeah.
That because there was none. Because we understood that these are appointments that were based upon the tenure of you holding government as a political party. And once that tenure comes to an end, that is the end of your employment.
Right.
Now, the AG office, every minister is entitled to his personal secretariat. Those are political appointments. Like I need my own confidential secretary. I need my own personal secretariat. And each minister over the years, there has developed a practice of each minister appointing their own secretariat. Right. In all fairness to Basil Williams, well, at least to the secretariat, they went with him. And I didn't have to, all I had to do, or the PS had to do, was to formally terminate. The AG office is a small operation, as you would expect. And it's made up, the staff are largely professional. Now, if you are professional, then it's difficult to determine whether your appointment is political. I can't look at a lawyer and say, you were appointed here because the man is a lawyer or the woman is a lawyer. And you have to qualify. You understand?
Yes.
So the problem doesn't present itself in such a stark way in my ministry, fortunately or unfortunately. But it is very ensconced and prevalent in the other ministries right across. And you would have seen the various ministers speaking about it and making documents public, etc.